was reading New York Times, and there was an interview with Michael. There's a story where his family wanted to, he had a day of shooting for Spike Lee. His family said, hey, can we stay over with you? We can help you get ready in the morning. He says, no, I can handle it by myself. He falls. Michael, you tell this better than me. But, and it's hard. I mean, he can't reach the phone. He breaks his arm. It's very painful. His writing about it was very surprising. It was very, obviously it was very touching and very real, but it was also funny and insightful. And I was like, this guy can write. And so I got all his books, and I was like, I heard his books on tape, and this guy can talk too.
Thought about it now, he just said, what the fuck are you gonna do? I wrote this big art piece about like, falling. He's like, I fell. Get up, can't get up? Shit. It's been amazing. The timing of meeting you and talking about the stuff that I'd written, the story that I had to tell, was amazing because I just kind of come to a place where you stumbled into, which is I can't understand this. I can't figure it out. I can't look at it from different angles that don't threaten me, but enlighten me and make me stronger. And so just as I was getting all that together, you stumbled into my life and said, we can make a movie out of this. And I thought, I had nothing to do the next 6 weeks. A documentary film, we put the camera on, the guy walks across, turn the camera off, and add that to the last bit, and you get a film. It's 3 years later, here we are.
Davis, would you please go away?
What was I said to you today? I said to you, I said my big mystery when I meet audiences like this, and people that have supported me, is how can you miss me if I won't go away? I'm not going anywhere, unfortunately, for you.
And Michael, I have one more for you, and then I'm going to open it up to the audience. You're so candid and vulnerable in this film, and it is so humorous, but I guess I wonder what was the most joyous part of the film for you in terms of thinking back over your life and career, for you to be able to do it within this form. What was the happiest?
It's really simple. When you look at the film and you look at the things that happened to me early in my life, I mean, this story is, I mean, I can get enough outside of myself to acknowledge that this is fucking crazy. This is a 16-year-old kid who left Canada to be an actor. Sold his guitar, and his dad drove down his Volare, and he went and met the casting people at Paramount. It was just crazy. And then a few years later, I was, another way to describe it, I was like the biggest star in the world. And I was like this guy who couldn't get a date in high school and wore beer shirts because he thought they were cool. And so, but having said that, when I look at the film, the thing that it screams at me how lucky I've been and how successful my life has been is the stuff with my family. It's just such joy. And to have that joy, that you can't measure how much joy that is, counterbalanced against whatever it is, Parkinson's or any kind of imposition of the outside world on your inner peace and your progress through the planet. I mean, that's just so powerful. And I see my daughters laughing, and Tracy's trying to make sense of my craziness, and Sam, you know, being a 33-year-old man, when the hell did that happen? and you know, that's the thing. You see your kids, you're getting older, you're getting as old as me, you're older than me, you're smarter than me, and then you come back and pick me up every now and then and say, come on, you're missing the parade. So it's been an amazing life, and the biggest part of it has been them.
Davis, if you want to acknowledge folks in the audience or what you'd like to do real quick?
Please, I mean, I think people want to hear from Michael, but there's people that have to be acknowledged, people who worked. Maybe you could just stand up for a minute when I say your names, and you can add color, but I meant...
Blue.
Okay, a different color, please.
Aubergine.
Michael Hart, please stand up. The brilliant editor. Wizard genius. Will Cohen, stand up, please. Incredible writer and producer. Annetta Marion, stand up, please. producer extraordinaire. Jonathan King, where are you? My business partner, producer of the movie. John Powell, the composer, where are you? Brilliant, brilliant music. Thank you, John. Incredible music. Julia Liu, where are you? The camera person, cinematographer. You just saw what she did. Nell, all of you stand up. Nell, Nina, Lauren, who am I forgetting? Nancy. Nicole Scott, Jonathan Silverberg, please stand up, your executive producers. Javier Gonzalez, a live producer. Adam Bardock, head of our production. Jackie Cleary, who did all the incredible archival work. Danny Azari, who plays Michael. Where are you, Danny? Oh, right there. Hey, Danny. You saw the back of his head a lot. And Jules Schiffer, who works with me. You carried me through. Thank you, Jules. Am I forgetting anybody in my group? Dyslexic director, anybody? Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys. It was a team effort.
Excellent, thank you. I'd love to open up to questions from the audience. I've got more, but I'm not going to hog it. Right here, please.
A beautiful film, loved everything, and Mike, you've been such a huge inspiration. This telling of the story of you. I'm curious what you'd like to see the next chapter to be, or if you see anything you wish made the film, or anything you might have regret that you didn't put in this, or didn't make the film.
Just one quick repetition, just so people can hear it. Lots of applause for the film, but the question really is, what's the next chapter for you, or are there elements from your story that you wish made the film, but just there wasn't room for?
First of all, if you know what it is, let me know. I have no idea what it is, but it involves spending time with my family. There's a thing that you get to a place, like I said at the end of the last book I wrote, with gratitude, optimism is sustainable, and that's the way I feel in my life. And I got to a point recently with all these injuries where I thought, I never got too grim, but I certainly was disappointed in the way things have been going. And I thought, I'm 61 years old. I can sit down with myself and have a conversation and say, this is not cutting time. This is like, I'm be 61 and live to 92 and have a great life and enjoy my grandchildren and grown-ups. Or I can just say, I'm just gonna get sicker until I don't try to hurt myself, but I don't try not to hurt myself. I just let it go down this path that I don't want it to go down. So having raised that grim moment, I have to say every time I come to, no, this rocks, I'll take this. I love my life, I love my family, I love what I do. I love that people react to what I do. I love that I can be an example to other people and help them deal with their issues without them asking me, without me forcing myself on them. It's an amazing fucking life, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm glad you're with me.
For the next question, I'll go right here.
Question for Davis. I was really struck by the construction of the film, how you were able to use, this pastiche of Michael's scenes from different movies, etc. Just wondering, how much work went into it? Because a lot of the times, the dialogue or a scene kind of riffed on what was happening in his life. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, the question is about the remarkable construction and editing and structure of the film. Could you talk about what went into it and a little bit more about that?
The best parts of the movie happened while I was napping. True, Michael? Very true. Michael deserves a lot of credit for how that footage was used. Things I never could have imagined. I will say that we had a terrible fight in the editing room. It was like very, very tense and very horrible about a shot of a coffee machine, which I can tell you more about later. But the construction, I think the big idea of the construction started at the beginning, which is that you're paralleling his present day story, Michael's present day story, and the arc of his career, and the juxtaposition of those two things But we had something better than anything when you start a movie, which is a book on tape, which is a great writer writing with clarity and honesty and humor, and Michael's voice telling it. But constructing it that way was the hard part, and we had, thanks to Apple, we had a lot of time to do it. We would cut and screen and cut and screen and learn and get and hone it and get better, and it's a really hard construction to do that, but when it works, it's really powerful.
Great, thank you. Yes, please.
Well, can I just say something real quick about Mike, the editor, and Davis, what they did with this footage and put it together to match the contemporary real life story is, I was watching it the other day, and last time you showed me some edits you made, and I said, well, no wonder, that's Gordon fucking Willis who shot this. No wonder it's so beautiful. And then I realized that all these great photographers and all these great people I had worked with before, I saw their work too, the experience you guys didn't even have. I saw other actors I worked with and other cinematographers and set people. And I just realized what a great creative community we have. And we're able to do magical stuff like you guys did with this. And let's keep going.
Great, thank you. I'm going to go to the waving hand, and then I'll go over to you. So waving hand first.
Chris is still trying to find a craft service table. Chris is one of the great guys of all time. And when I worked with him on the movies, I was so busy and had so much stuff going on. We never really established a complex relationship. We were friends and we liked each other, but we never spent much time talking to each other. As we've gotten older and these events show up at Comic-Cons and things like that, we spend time together, I realized what a great guy he is. And I also realized what a genius he is beyond what I thought he was. All of a sudden, it's like this thing with we were just talking about with the footage. Chris has a thing that he does. When I came upon it, I went, no wonder I think he's great. It was about exposition. And I was realizing this thing that all actors hate to give exposition. And they say even Olivia has to lay pipe. But I realized Chris Lloyd is the genius of all time in exposition. You know, all that stuff, Marty, we'll take this, we'll go, and you follow him, you eat it all up, and now we know it for the rest of the movie. We mortals can tell the story as best as we can. And he'll jump back in and lay this gift on us and move the story along, you know. So anyways, it's been great running into Chris, spending more time with him. And he's getting younger and I'm getting older, but it works.
Great, and one over here, please, yes? Yes.
Well, it had to be the two pivotal things, Family Ties and Back to the Future. They're both kind of stake a claim for me in both those individual worlds. And again, I go back to this idea that I was, only 3 or 4 years earlier, I was this kid in Canada, in Burnaby, like just trying to stay out of trouble. And I was in this world with all this stuff, and these two projects made that all possible for me. It changed my life in a way that is beyond measuring. And as an actor, as an artist, you're rarely that lucky to have that happen to you. So it's like, anyway, that was it. Those two things. I mean, Marty and Alex, done. Jack, I'm out.
That's great. Let me go in the white in the back, yeah. Yeah, more about the foundation. And
I should say really quickly that number, people are surprised when I say this, but that number is as impressive as it is. Kind of a little way pisses me off. Because I'd hope that we'd be done with it by now, but science is hard. Science is really hard, and it's hard to, the things that we're working on that I think are really exciting are things about imaging and things about how to understand the genetic. It's kind of like we've discovered that genetics loads the gun and environment pulls the trigger. And that simple realization can lead to so many things. One of the things that's leading to this is coming up with a list of eliminators for Parkinson's until we get down to where it's very clear by the number of indicators you have left that you're a candidate for it. And if we can do that and we can figure that science out, then we can basically come up with a prophylactic injection that you'll never get Parkinson's. You go in as a baby and they'll say, you're not gonna get Parkinson's. And people say to me, but that'll be after your time, are you okay with that? And I'm like, shit, yeah. That'd be great, just get it done. I don't care if I'm on the bus way down the road. Get this done. And it's really exciting. Scientists from all over the world working on it. I was at the foundation the other day and I read a litany of the countries that were involved in it. And it's mind-boggling. And I credit Debbie Brooks and all the people at our foundation and all the patients, all the doctors and all the geniuses. You can't hear me anyway. And all the geniuses that went into bringing us this far. And so it's really exciting. I mean, it's really a cool thing to be like, you know, again, I talk about those two things, those two career Family Ties and Back to the Future. And you could say with the other key, well, the biggest thing is my family, and then it's this foundation, been given this opportunity to like schmuck guys. I got a couple TV shows and a movie. I got a chance to sit down with people and change the world. And that's not on me, that's on them. And all I did was show up and get my face on TV for 2 minutes so they could get their point across, so they could generate income to seek these answers. And that's such a privilege and such a gift that I have nothing else to complain about.
Thank you for doing that work. Thank you for sharing your story. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but thank you so much for bringing this film to Sundance. Davis, thank you so much.